All right, man. Peace. You know, brothers, what recently went down between Kevin Durant and Draymond Green down the stretch of their overtime loss to the Los Angeles Clippers was very, very good for the NBA. Because if it's one thing that the NBA likes, it's theatrics. They love tumult. The NBA truly is a soap opera. And I do believe that Draymond's over theatricality and over emotionality will be the straw that broke the camel's back in regards to what is going to be the impetus for Kevin Durant to decide to leave the Golden State Warriors. And this is right in the wheelhouse of the super liberal sports media, the super liberal mainstream sports media, because they've been trying to coax Kevin Durant off of the Golden State Warriors team for a very long time now, so that they could assist their boo thing, LeBron James, in possibly getting 1 or 2 more titles. And this is exactly what they need. And now there's a quote-unquote witness, a member of the Golden State Warriors who's described as a veteran, who's speaking out and saying, without any hesitation, that there's no way that Durant is coming back now. So, of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Finally, all season long, we have speculated if this is KD's last year with the Warriors.
Yes.
And that combo got the spotlight on Monday night against the Clippers when Draymond chose to not pass the ball to KD in a game-winning situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Durant called out Draymond for the decision. Draymond was displeased, and he decided to call Durant the B word.
Let me say this about Draymond Green. And I've stated this in other videos pertaining to the rapport between Draymond and Kevin Durant. They're both mama's boys. And I thought that they would implode in last year's playoffs, but I have to give them credit for keeping it together for the most part. But I knew that it was only going to be a matter of time. Because, once again, they're both mama's boys. They're both overrun with that bitch energy that pervades so many so-called black men today. And I knew that eventually it was going to come out because Draymond is like an angry black woman. As soon as Draymond gets upset, he's not even going to get upset about what you're doing or what he feels like you've just done. He's going to start talking about stuff that he felt like you did 2 years ago. And when you're dealing with someone like a Kevin Durant, who I'm not going to call necessarily a sensitive figure per se, even though I'm sure that he'd probably say that about himself. I mean, we can say that he is. At the end of the day, Kevin Durant is somebody who wears his heart on his sleeve. And you do have to approach him with kid gloves because he is an exceptional person in regards to what he can do on the basketball court. And I think that when you combine his quote-unquote sensitivity with Draymond Green's own sensitivity about his feeling that he's the fourth man on the Golden State Warriors and he might be considered the odd man out, and he's trying to show that he also is someone of import on the team, that eventually they were going to have a quote-unquote breakup. They were going to have a falling out because they're both so sensitive and they're both mama's boys.
And he said he was making the season about himself with how he's handled the pending free agency. So where's that?
So now when Draymond states that Kevin Durant is quote-unquote making this season about himself, really that's Draymond saying that he's heard things through the grapevine. He's not saying that Kevin Durant is wrong in how he has handled his free agency this season. He's saying that I'm hearing things through the grapevine in regards to what you're planning to do.
Where does that leave the Warriors? Well, one veteran told The Athletic, with what was said, there is already no way Durant is coming back. The only hope is that they can say this summer, see, KD, we've got your back. We protected you from Draymond.
Now look at this very quickly. It says anonymous Warriors player, but Joy Taylor, she expounded on that by saying that it's a veteran. Now who could that be? They're really only one of 2 veterans that I could see giving a statement like this. And that's either Andre Iguodala or Sean Livingston. And look at how they refer to Kevin Durant. The statement says, with what was said, there is already no way Durant is coming back. The person didn't say there's already no way Kevin is coming back. So that shows you right there. There's a divide between the team and Kevin on certain levels. And now there's going to be a divide between the team and Draymond Green because they know they have to show Kevin Durant that they're not just going to allow Draymond Green to walk all over him. So this is going to create a very tenuous dynamic in the Golden State locker room this season that they may be able to overcome just because of their outstanding talent and how much they're accustomed to playing together. But I have very little doubt that this is going to be the tipping point for Kevin Durant and that he most likely is going to leave unless the Golden State Warriors do something drastic or unless he and Draymond are able to repair their rapport with one another. We'll see. But once again, just look at this statement. With what was said, there's already no way Durant is coming back. The only hope is that they can say this summer, see KD, we've got your back, we protected you from Draymond. Now keep in mind, Bob Myers already made a major faux pas in the aftermath of the Golden State Warriors winning the championship last season, when during the parade, he tried to make a relatively off-color joke with KD about how he's not on Steph's level in regards to how he's esteemed by the franchise. And that was very, very stupid at the time. But Kevin Durant is the type of person who remembers that, because we all know that there's truth in every joke. In every good joke, there has to be an element of truth. But why, if you're Bob Myers, would you even make a joke like that? That's just asinine.
I mean, Skip Bayless mentioned this morning, and I don't think it's a terrible idea. Don't let this fester. You got Boogie Cousins going to be able to play in about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and he's your big tough guy. Do you move?
No, sir. Boogie Cousins cannot replace what Draymond Green brings to the table. That's what makes this situation so tenuous. That's what makes this situation so difficult, is that Draymond Green, in his own way, is just as important to the team as Kevin Durant, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Boogie Cousins cannot, in his wildest dreams, replace Draymond Green. Draymond Green is one of the top 5 defensive players in the NBA, regardless of position. He legitimately can guard 1 through 5 and is willing to guard 1 through 5. Boogie Cousins has never been known as a good defensive player. He's an offensive player coming back from an Achilles tear. He's 7 feet tall, well over 260, 270 pounds. We have no idea how he's going to look. The last time that I saw Boogie Cousins rumbling up and down the practice floor, he looked like an old woman. He really did. There's no way in the world that you can replace Draymond Green with Boogie Cousins. As a matter of fact, I don't see any other player in the NBA that does what Draymond does. And that's what makes this fracas very, 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 very sensitive right now. Because you're trying to keep KD, but you just can't move Draymond to appease KD when KD might leave anyway.
Move Draymond out of town. Do you just say, you know what? We're not even going to go there? Because I watched Steve Kerr and Bob Myers' press conference yesterday, and it was, you could feel the stress. Everybody's feeling this Kevin Durant impending free agency. It's weighing on them.
They haven't had a lot of controversy over the past few years there in Golden State, so this is...
Let me say this. This is built-in theatrics into the NBA. Due to the fact that these players now have so much power, every time a prominent player is approaching his free agency year, it's going to give these talking heads something to speak about even well into the offseason. So this is how the NBA is going to amplify and build up their profile to compare to the NFL. Because now you have what they call hot stove basketball talk even into the offseason. And then into the regular season, when you have a prominent player who's not willing to automatically re-up with their current team, you can go through the process of asking them all throughout the year, who are you going to sign with, where are you going to go, there are rumors out there about this and that. This provides an aspect of intrigue for the league. But make no mistake about it, you just can't move a Draymond Green just because of what he did. Especially if you don't know for sure if Kevin Durant is coming back. And beyond that, what player around the NBA can replace Draymond? If you let KD go, you could throw all that money at Kawhi Leonard and you would have an adequate replacement for KD, believe it or not. As a matter of fact, Kawhi Leonard might actually be an even better fit for that team than a KD.
Is uncharacteristic of that entire organization. I don't think that you are in a position right now in this moment where you can move Draymond. But if you're looking at what's more valuable, Draymond or KD, obviously, that goes without saying KD is more valuable. He's a more talented player. But Draymond's a big piece there. And the rest of the team, maybe KD doesn't, but the rest of the team, they respect Draymond. He's been there with them in the trenches, and they've won a couple rings with him. So, not that they haven't with KD, but they won one without KD, too.
You go to KD and you say, KD, you give us a promise of a 3-year extension, we'll move Draymond out of town.
I mean,
Dude, promises count for nothing. You should know that. You're in the business world.
What's a promise?
I would do it.
Thank you, Joy Taylor.
What's a promise?
Well, I mean, I'd say let's get agents here, let's get it worked, let's get it done.
So in other words, you're not looking for a promise. You're looking to extend Kevin Durant immediately. And he's already on record as saying that he's going to play this year out. Right now, the Golden State Warriors' hands are tied. Their hands are tied. So they have to deal with these two mama's boys for the rest of the season. Unless they decide to just go all in and just say to hell with it. if they're able to develop a contingency plan where they can say, you know what, Draymond is just more trouble than he's worth. We have to move him anyway. Who gives a damn?
Well, it's a 3-year deal. Then you can leave us. By the way, you'll still have 3 to 4 great years left. Let's do 3 more years, and Draymond's out. And if you could agree with that, I'd move Draymond tomorrow.
Maybe, but handshake deals.
They're not going to move Draymond unless they know who they're going to replace him with.
Handshake deals are just that, so he can decide to change his mind at any point. I just think that there's a little bit more to this than we maybe thought yesterday.
All right, good stuff. Joy with the news.
But anyway, we'll see how things go in regards to this KD and Draymond situation. But once again, this is great news for the NBA. Great news for the NBA, because people love to see an empire fall. They love to see the beginnings of the end of a great empire, of a quote-unquote dynasty. So peace.